It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host for today, Kevin McIntosh. The final signing day of the 2024-2025 school year was recently at West Bloomfield High School, where 11 dedicated and determined student athletes made their college commitments official. Our very own Jake Schaff was on site to capture the excitement.
Another signing day has come and gone here in West Bloomfield, the last one of the 2025 school year. And another batch of excited young athletes have signed their intentions to continue their sports at the professional level. And with the NFL draft and the success of several former Lakers, including Maxwell Hairston, still lingering in everyone's mind, it served as an important reminder and goal of what can be achieved through hard work and dedication.
I mean, it feels good. You know what I'm saying? I worked my way up all 4 years of high school. Nothing was easy. Just put my head down and work. So being able to go to Adrian College is just a reliever that I got out of high school, and now I'm in NCAA to make a next big step. I just want to really thank all my coaches, family, friends, teammates, most importantly, even my teachers. They all helped me in any way, shape, or form to get to the next level.
It's a very great feeling. All the hard work paid off, and so I'm glad I got to sign with some of my friends. I got four baseball players signed with me, so it was a great experience to sign with them, and it's just a great opportunity. I'm very thankful for it.
We're still talking about the incredible success of all of the former Lakers that had their NFL dreams come true. Do you think that serves as a big indicator of what's possible at the next level?
Oh, absolutely. Everybody knows here. You know, they see what's going on at the next level, and they see how well our student athletes are achieving at the next level, whether it's football and seeing them play on Saturdays or the other sports that we have. We have baseball players that are doing extremely well, basketball players everywhere. Everywhere you look up and down, it seems like there's Lakers playing for their colleges. And if you go in front of our athletic office and you see our board of current athletes that are on college rosters, and that's right now they're on college rosters, we have 97 of them up there.
Wow.
And that's amazing when you think about it, because that's 4 or 5 years. The last 4 or 5 years, we're putting out that many people, and 27 more this year.
It definitely pushes people. It makes people more aggressive in a positive way, that they want to push themselves, they want to push their teammates, they want to push pretty much anybody that they can, even themselves, to make them better in whatever context they can.
Yeah, just seeing that just shows what West Bloomfield athletics can do for you and are helping you, just like what you said, Maxwell Harrison being a first round. That just shows that West Bloomfield athletics are a very good place. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would say we got a lot of guys, younger guys who've left already here in college. We're all doing big things. We got a great coaching staff, people who really want to be around us as far as football and just personal. So I would say, yeah, it's going to definitely be a big increase in just college enrollment, NFL, anything the athletes want to anything the athletes want to do, the coaches will help.
What would you say is the biggest trait these young athletes can take with them to achieve this Maxwell Hairston level of success in their professional field?
Yeah, they have dreams. All of them have dreams, but they need to have a plan on how to achieve that dream. And they had part of that plan going through high school right now. Now they need to adjust that plan a little bit, keep on working, keep on building, keep on making a better version of themselves, but most importantly, keep on believing in themselves.
Only time will tell what these athletes are able to accomplish at the college level, but each one of them is off to an incredible start, as there are reminders everywhere they look of what's truly possible and to achieve in their future. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
It's always inspiring to watch these students reach their athletic goals. And be sure to send your congratulations and view photos of these outstanding athletes as they embark on their next chapter. You can see them on Facebook. Visit the West Bloomfield School District's Facebook page at West Bloomfield Schools for more. At the most recent West Bloomfield Township Board meeting, officials voted to approve joining an Oakland County-wide mental health program uniting local police with mental health practitioners. Here's more on the goal of that program.
The goal is to really get a person connected to services immediately and make sure that they get connected. So that person is not just taken to a hospital and dropped off and then released 30 minutes later. They've had a point of connection with us, and we can make sure that that person gets connected long-term, which we've had a lot of success with. And then ultimately, OCHN has liaisons throughout the justice system, in the jails, in probation offices, with the prosecutor's office, at the hospitals, and we really try to get that person connected along the way. The biggest thing is trying to help de-escalate and problem solve with our police partners when we're there on scene, and come up with maybe some different solutions than what we have done in the past.
And who you just heard there was Hillary Nussbaum with the Oakland County Health Network, Oakland County Community Health Network, just explaining the goal of that program. And the program has expanded over various communities within Oakland County as well to help fight the stigma of mental health. And here's more on that.
We started this program back in August of 2021. We originally began with 3 police departments, Auburn Hills, Birmingham, and Bloomfield Township Police Department, and 1 co-responder. And we've been fortunate enough to move to 16 agencies across Oakland County, and we have 9 co-responders currently. So what that means is a co-responder carries a police radio, and we listen for calls that are related to mental health or substance use related calls. When those calls come out, we can either self-dispatch ourselves to those calls, dispatchers can dispatch us, or officers can call us to that scene.
And once again, from the Oakland Community Health Network co-response team, that was clinician Hillary Nussbaum giving us more information. And joining me right here live on The Splash from West Bloomfield Police Department, we have Chief Dale Young to give us more information on this. I appreciate you being here, Chief, first and foremost. And can you just tell us how you see this core program specifically benefiting residents here in Greater West Bloomfield?
Yes, good morning, Kevin. So, like what we just heard from Hillary is exactly how that would go for the residents of West Bloomfield especially. And then what that is that as we encounter people that are going through mental health crisis, we'll now have another resource that we can utilize, I should say, to connect them to services. And just to kind of give some context to the need for this program, I can tell you that from January 1st through yesterday, that just mental health calls alone, and now these are just mental health calls alone, not where there could be crimes or other types of scenarios that are attached with it. Okay. There was 111 of those so far.
Oh, wow.
When it comes to attempted adult suicide, we had 4 of those. For juvenile-related attempt suicides, we had 1 so far this year. And then for drug overdoses, we've had 3. So we definitely have a need in the township for this program, and we look forward to partnering with OCHN to accomplish that.
Okay. Thank you for providing that data as well, so that, like you said, provides a little bit more context. So with that being said, prior to this program, what unique challenges has the West Bloomfield Police Department faced in responding to some of these mental health related calls?
So, just so that the community is aware, we constantly train on mental health and how to respond to people in the community that are experiencing mental health crisis. Mm-hmm. But what I would tell you is that the police are limited in our responses to these types of incidents, meaning that the tools that we have oftentimes are not adequate to address, especially long-term, for the unique needs of the mental health community. So, for instance, sometimes, if warranted, we would need to take someone to the hospital on an involuntary basis. Whereas, as Hillary was speaking at the meeting yesterday, they may have other resources that they can connect this person to and possibly avoid that particular alternative.
Okay.
And then, again, it's the long-term help that they can provide.
Got you. And that makes sense, too, because that's not necessarily, the field of the police officer. Yeah, I can help immediately for whatever's going on maybe at the moment, but for that long-term care that is obviously going to be needed if it's a mental health concern, then now we have other professionals for that. So that would make sense as well. Now, I'm also curious as to how it's actually going to work. Like, how are mental health clinicians and law enforcement officers here in Greater West Bloomfield paired or deployed in these crisis situations?
So as Hillary mentioned yesterday, there's a number of models that agencies use. That's something that we are going to work out with whatever clinician that we get paired with.
Okay.
And specifically, what we would explore is the benefits of having that clinician ride with an officer as opposed to possibly having them ride around by themselves and responding to calls as they see fit.
Okay. I would see, just in my brain, I would automatically think that they would ride with you, but I guess there's so many different ways about doing it. So I know those would be some of the things that'll be ironed out as well. With me right here live on the Splash, by the way, West Bloomfield Police Department Chief Dale Young, talking about this new program, the core program they are a part of when it comes to partnering with Oakland Community Health Network and addressing mental health issues and calls right here in our community. Now, if you don't mind, Chief, taking us a little bit behind the scenes, can you share how officers and these mental health professionals are being trained to collaborate under this program?
Well, this is definitely a brand new program. This is one that we have not trained with the clinician yet.
Okay.
So it's still very new. In fact, the onboarding process is probably going to take somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 weeks, so about 2 months. And so we don't have that information for you at this time.
Okay, it makes sense as well. So hopefully as we continue to go a little bit further in the program, we can reconnect and get a little bit more insight in regards to that and other aspects as well. Now, how does the program ensure that individuals in these crises, like you said, they are going to receive that long-term help, but do you know of any other resources in regards to long-term help that they will receive?
So it's all going to be tailored to that unique circumstance. And
Okay.
so in the combination of the police and, of course, the clinician, they're going to create a plan, and they are going to try to connect that person to these long-term supports.
You know what I want to ask you, Chief, on your personal perspective, as Chief of West Bloomfield Police Department, how will you measure the success of this core program locally?
So one of the goals of this program is to reduce repeat calls, because there are some people that are unfortunately experiencing chronic mental health issues, and sometimes in the most extreme cases, we've gone out over 100 times over a couple of years, as an example. And hopefully through this program, what we'll see is that because they are connected with long-term supports, that would be drastically reduced, if not eliminated completely.
Good. And I would imagine that would be the case too. Just, let the police handle, other situations, and let the mental health professionals actually deal with the mental health calls and try to reduce those calls overall as well. That way, because like we said, they're dealing with the long-term solution rather than right on the spot solutions as well. I want to thank you so much for your time again, Chief. Any last messages or words to the community about this program, or you want to just talk about the importance of West Bloomfield Police Department collaborating with this program overall?
Actually, what I'd like to point out to our community, the Greater West Bloomfield community,
Please.
is that this particular program is actually going to be in partnership with the city of Orchard Lake, city of Sylvan Lake, city of Keego Harbor, and the village of Franklin. And so that this first year is actually covered by ARPA funds that are provided by the Oakland County Health Network. And after a year, where all the communities are going to have a chance to reevaluate the program and see how they want to proceed after that. And then the other thing I wanted to point out is that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And I definitely would encourage anyone that is experiencing any type of mental health issue is to reach out to their support system.
Perfect. Thank you so much again for also explaining that as well. And we appreciate your time. Once again, from the West Bloomfield Police Department, Chief Dale Young, we appreciate your time and information, sir.
Thank you.
Per usual, providing resources to residents right here in the Greater West Bloomfield area as we find out more information on that program and other programs, specifically even during Mental Health Awareness Month. We will continuously keep you updated as well. Young minds are constantly exploring, and at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, kids now have a new way to learn through play. I actually went into the children's section to showcase a hands-on experience that's sparking creativity and curiosity.
I like it's another activity to do at the library, and we did the matching game, which seemed to be the most fun, right? You matched?
Yeah.
It gives us another option. Although there's already so many options, this is just another great option to have for us.
The interactive play table offers children a chance to learn through play with activities designed to develop critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity. We asked how the interactive play table contributes to the library's ongoing commitment to creating innovative spaces for families to connect and grow.
The table has, I think, 12 different options of different games. We've got some math, some science, some geography, and it has things from toddlers up until about age 12, so a wide range.
For families in West Bloomfield, the interactive play table has quickly become a favorite feature of the library's youth services area. By combining fun and learning, it creates an enriching experience that keeps kids engaged and curious.
So it does both of those very well. There's some educational games, and it is very entertaining. The kids will want to come back and play with it more and more.
A fantastic resource for local families right here in West Bloomfield to learn more about the interactive play table and other fun programs offered at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library. Visit their website, wblib.org, for more information. Lupus is a chronic autoimmune disease in which the immune system mistakenly attacks healthy tissues, affecting organs like skin, joints, kidneys, heart, and even lungs. And to answer some questions about lupus, with me right here live on the Splash from Henry Ford Health, West Bloomfield, we have Dr. Alireza Maysami. Thank you so much for being here, doctor.
Thank you for having me, Kevin. It's lovely to be here and share some good information about lupus. As you mentioned, very important condition that we're going to hopefully talk about that today.
Yes, yes. So let's get straight into it. I just want to know, like, some of the basics, if this is what it is. So what are some of the early warning signs of lupus that residents in Greater West Bloomfield should be aware of?
Great question, Kevin. So the issue is lupus actually is a very heterogeneous condition, meaning that each individual can present with different symptoms. So there is no one profile fit every patient. But there's some early signs, and I would like to make sure that we raise awareness about those signs. If the patient actually, if any person feel like they have fatigue chronically with no explanation, especially if they have also joint pain, joint swelling, and also more importantly, joint stiffness. In the morning, when they wake up, they cannot move easily and they feel pretty stiff. These are some of the signs of that. On top of that, if the patient starts having some rashes, mainly we call them butterfly rash, which would be a rash and redness over the skin on the face. This is another very important clue that we might need to seek help. Sun sensitivity is another one that is early sign of lupus, and oral lesions. These are some symptoms that if you experience those, we need to actually make sure you see an individual, you see a physician, so because we want to detect this condition before it can affect major organs.
Correct, correct. Especially me just learning that, just doing a little bit of research, knowing that it does attack organs like the heart and the lungs. You definitely want to get at it as soon as possible. Now, from the things that you've seen, how have you seen autoimmune diseases like lupus impact families in the local community?
Absolutely. It affects not only individual, but the whole family. First off, I want to make sure we discuss the underserved, actually, people we have in our local community. It's important also to know that underserved community and also women of color, they actually might get the severe form of lupus. And a lot of these symptoms we discussed might actually be dismissed or contributed to other conditions. And that can result in delaying diagnosis. And as you mentioned, Kevin, that can cause permanent damage, sometimes in kidneys or heart. So we want to make sure we have early detection. Of course, in our community, definitely it can affect not only individual, but also I say that this autoimmune disease will affect the whole entire family.
Correct.
It's important to know that individuals themselves, they actually get involved with lupus and their daily routine, their work, their emotional well-being will be affected because of fatigue and pain. By themselves, they can cause that issue. But on top of that, the whole entire family also will sometimes take on a role as like caregiver.
Correct.
Pretty physically and emotionally demanding task to do, and also it can cause some financial burden. So we've seen that. I've witnessed a lot of my patients, not only their life will be affected, but the entire family, and even people around them, they all will be affected by this condition. So actually, it's opportunity. I want to just talk about that. Then we know this disease can affect multiple organs and can be devastating and can actually affect the family and even community. So it's important to seek some support. There are some support groups. There are social workers, and we got to make sure individuals, when they encounter with autoimmune disease or they get lupus, they actually seek some services that can help them. And on top of that, actually, maybe seeking help in some places they have coordinated care, because we should put all these symptoms together, and it has to be a coordinated care, such as Henry Ford, for example. We offer such a coordinated care to our patients. Again, well-being, emotional well-being, and education they are the keys to manage autoimmune diseases such as lupus.
Education, well said. I would agree with that as well. And I'm just learning as you're speaking as well, as someone who hasn't been directly affected by lupus, but these are some things that I want to learn about so that I can get ahead of the curve in case I do have family members or friends going through this type of situation as well. And with me right here live on The Splash, by the way, from Henry Ford Health West Bloomfield, we have Dr. Alireza Maysami just talking about lupus, the conditions, and some of the signals that we should look out for when it comes to this autoimmune disease. Now, doctor, kind of getting back to the topic, with autoimmune conditions on the rise from some of the things that I've seen, what community-based efforts or even screenings would you recommend, do you think, that can help earlier detection in our area specifically?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of community outreach and education. And I believe there is a potential opportunity to have some sort of events where we can screen patients at high risk. And that could be actually a female of childbearing age, 15 to 44 years, especially if they have some of the symptoms we talked earlier, and if they have family history of autoimmune diseases. Then by doing these events, we can hopefully promote early detection and prevent them from getting all those complications and damages in major organs. Of course, I'm a big fan also of collaboration with local clinics, with churches, and even community centers in West Bloomfield area. So we can connect with patients and people there. So then we can engage some of our community members who were not probably seeking help in the healthcare system for various reasons. We can get them involved and engage and hopefully help them.
Yes, I like that. Meeting people where they are. That's the main thing I took away from that. And that's very, very key sometimes, because sometimes people don't even know where to start. So just meeting them where they are is very, very key, doctor. And I appreciate that. So on your knowledge, your experience in this field, can you talk about any advancements in lupus research or treatments that are particularly promising or even relevant to your work at Henry Ford?
Absolutely. You got to see me how excited I am right now, because this is the topic I want to talk about.
Let's go.
So this is actually the time that I would just say the era of lupus, the disease that 20 years ago we didn't have more than a handful of medications that were not even effective that much. Now we have very specific medications that can target lupus directly. We have biologic treatments. There are medications like belimumab, anifrolumab, and these actually are basically made for lupus and they're targeted directly. And that actually can change people's life, especially if they have lupus. Now, at Henry Ford, I'm a principal investigator of almost all the clinical trials for lupus. We have clinical trials with new medication on the horizon, and they're coming, and we are offering those to our people of community. If either they had no response to existing treatment, so we offer them to new clinical trial, or if they have no access. Now, another interesting thing is we are about to start a new treatment for lupus. I want to make sure your viewers actually know about that. They call it CAR T cell therapy. These actually are fascinating treatment for lupus and autoimmune diseases, where we reprogram our own immune system to go attack the bad cells and bad immune cells and destroy them. So we actually reprogram our own body to fight against the disease. And so far, We've seen patients for like more than almost 3 years. They remain disease-free, medication-free. So we are about to start such a clinical trial at Henry Ford and hopefully getting closer to the big word cure. It's too early to say that, but maybe one day we can take care of lupus patients completely.
Yeah, that's what we want to work towards, eradication, getting it out of here eventually and managing it at the very, very least. And when managing it, let's talk about that. What lifestyle changes do you often recommend to patients in Greater West Bloomfield looking to reduce their risk or even manage this autoimmune disease?
Wonderful question. And actually, I spend usually about a good portion of my visits about lifestyle modification. Very important, even though simple. So first thing is we got to know patients with lupus, they need to have restful, consistent sleep. Sleep is important because that's our reset time. If the sleep is not restful, please seek help and see some specialist or your primary care physician to have a good quality sleep. The second thing, I am a big fan of anti-inflammatory diet, a balanced diet. So it's important to think about some anti-inflammatory diet. Maybe eliminate sugar. That's a fuel for inflammation.
Man, yeah.
Gluten, cut back if you can. And even, some additional, maybe turmeric would be good addition, and a Mediterranean diet. A low impact regular exercise routinely would be very helpful. Avoid the smoking, and I will limit sun exposure. Because sun, actually, the UV light can trigger lupus and actually can cause major lupus flare. Now, last but not least is stress reduction. Stress, for some reason, has a lot to do with flare of the autoimmune disease and lupus. So I tell my patient, use some meditation technique. Try to control your stress. These simple tasks, even though they might look simple, they are very important, if not as important as medical treatment, and we won't be successful without having all those in place. And together, we should just work with the patient to help them.
I'm so glad that you, once again, as a medical professional, make the connection between mental health, your stress, and then your physical health as well. Like, I don't think people really focus or talk about the connection between non-stress or, trying not to stress or managing your stress and then the effects that it can have on your body. So I'm so glad that you put that out there as well as something that can manage this autoimmune disease, as well as talking about the light impact, the low impact exercise. That was one thing that I would have thought, but I'm not the professional. So I'm glad you took the time to explain that as well. And I don't want to take up too much more of your time. We appreciate you, doctor. But lastly, what advice would you give to someone in our community who may suspect that they have an autoimmune disorder, but haven't yet talked or sought medical professionals yet?
Wonderful question for the last question. Listen to your body. Listen to your body.
Yeah.
If you see that there's some symptoms, especially fatigue, joint pain, and rashes, that's been going on for a long time with no explanation, please seek help. You can see your primary care physician. They can run some small screening tests, and then you can see one of us, a rheumatologist. And we can definitely help you. Early detection is the key. You don't want to wait until lupus goes to the kidneys or major organs. Then that will be actually a major complication. Yeah. You deserve to feel well. And trust me, we are here to help you. Just reach out and you will get treated and we'll help you be helped.
Hey, doctor, I appreciate that information so much. I got more research to do myself, but we definitely appreciate you, your information, and your time. Once again, from Henry Ford Health, West Bloomfield, Dr. Alireza Maysami, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
You too. Have a better one, sir. We appreciate that so much. May is Lupus Awareness Month, so we want to make sure we had a professional on here to give a little bit more insight regarding that. As we get more information shared, we will obviously share it with you as well. Many residents in the Greater West Bloomfield area doing great things, and we'll highlight that and talk about that coming up. We're live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from Sylvan Lake, Civic Center TV. Television that's close to home.
Hi, I'm Chris Fry, Park Superintendent, West Bloomfield Parks. Congratulations, Civic Center TV, on 1 million views on YouTube. Thank you for all you do in the community, and thank you for having me on The Splash throughout the season to talk about activities out in the parks. Chris Fry, proud to be one in a million.
Missed one of our live broadcasts or one of your local municipal meetings? Check it out online at civiccentertv.com. Every meeting, show, and interview on demand. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh. Just recently, Sylvan Lake's beloved mail carrier, Kathy Tomlin, made her final delivery before officially retiring. For years, Kathy has been a bright spot in the community, known for dedication, positive energy, and signature style. Now, as she embarks on a well-earned retirement, we spoke to Kathy to reflect on her time served residents in Sylvan Lake. Kathy Tomlin. Thank you for being here, Kathy.
Hi. How are you?
First and foremost, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I love your hat. I love your energy already just looking at you. You seem so bubbly. Now let's just talk about it. You just recently completed your final mail run after so many years. How does it feel?
Oh, it's kind of just, it's been the thing that I've taken care of for 8 years now, and it's hard. It's really hard, the goodbyes. But like I say, it's not really goodbye. I love the people out there. They've been so caring and thoughtful and just a wonderful community to be able to do this. And they've just loved me unconditionally, and it shows. It just really shows. So
we love that. We love that. And as somebody, you know, if you live at home, you know that you get mail. If you sometimes get blessed to actually see your mail carrier. Some people live in a situation where they don't get to see them, but sometimes you get to develop that relationship with them. You see them every single day for the most part, even on weekends in some cases. So sometimes you get to see them. Hey, how's your day? Develop that relationship, and if it's over time, over years, I would imagine you'll be a part of the community as well. Can we just go back a little bit, Kathy, if you don't mind? What inspired you to become a mail carrier in the first place?
You know, that's, I wasn't sure. At the time I took it on, it wasn't like even close to my home where I had to go and deliver mail. But getting into it was just wonderful. It's really just the people you meet, and I loved my job because of the people and the dogs. I made friends with even a lot of their dogs. And even in Sylvan Lake, the community is a very, like, they love their animals, and what a wonderful community and knit, you know. But I just enjoyed just the people, really the people that you meet in this job. It's just been amazing, you know. I don't know how else to say it, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to miss them very much. It's like your baby. You take care of them, you know. When things get misdelivered, you see all the addresses that come all messed up.
Right, yeah.
You know where they goes. And it's, oh, no, they used to live over here. Now they live over here. And the packaging, you know, I just had to, you know, they know. And
that just speaks to just knowing the community after serving the community for so long. Like you said, only someone who's been there, who know the residents and know, hey, this person may have moved, or this person may have changed their address, or, oh, I'm sorry, this is possibly going to the wrong one. Let me go back and go to, you know, who this actually belongs to. Only someone who has been in that community and experienced that community and talked to the people would actually know that, rather than someone experiencing it for the first time. I'm glad you painted that picture as well.
Yes.
Well said.
There's a lot to the job. There's really a lot to the job.
So much more than people would imagine. But you also went above and beyond. And that's what I want to speak on as well, because when we started off, I commented on your style, your hat. And not even necessarily knowing you on your route, I've seen from some of the pictures, your personal style is legendary. around our community and areas. So how did fashion and flair become part of your daily delivery routine?
Yes. Oh, I don't know. I think like where we work at the post office, they would say like, "Hey, today's Tiger's Day. You know, you got to wear tiger gear. You got to for the Lions. We got to wear our Lions gear on that day. You know, we were rooting for them. So in that sense, I think that brought some of my style out. You know, on those days where I was able to wear things, the holidays, we were able to dress up a little. They let us. And it just kind of helped. And it's been really, really nice, you know, like that they allowed us to do that. And I just put my little touch of me in there, you know, and I am what I am.
Yeah.
So.
And that's what we appreciated about it the most, Kathy, as we watching these pictures on CivicCenterTV.com. Like I said, we appreciate that you added your own style and flair to it because it made you stand out and it made us appreciate you even more. And with me right here, live on the Splash, by the way, now retired Sylvan Lake mail carrier Kathy Tomlin, just talking about her time and experience serving the Sylvan Lake community as well. You know what I want to ask you? We're in the year 2025 currently, and we're talking about a lot of changes that has happened in mail carrying, post office services. I imagine we're not seeing as many people write handwritten letters and mail those off as usual. So what has been the biggest change that you've seen in postal service or your route in general over the years?
Oh, I still think people like to send things. It's more personal. I think they need to continue to send those personal touches to people, you know. It means something more when you receive something, you know, in the mail than, you know. So I always encourage, you know, people to really use the mail, use the USPS. You know, we put our own little touch in there, and we want to make sure you get those personal letters, you know.
That is so funny because I'm thinking about the last time I actually wrote a handwritten letter. I believe it was in high school to my high school sweetheart at the time. We used to do that, go back and forth, and then you spray like your little cologne in there so you can send off what you sent to. I remember the art of even learning how to write a letter and write on the envelope. That's a lost art nowadays, and I appreciate that. So, good point.
It makes a difference, and I think it makes a difference in the residents that receive it, you know, the customers, you know. It's just nice. I've seen so many loving things. I'm like, oh, wow, that is so cool seeing how people put their little touch on things you can't help but notice.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful to still feel like there's that out there, you know, especially in these times, that there are people that are still wanting to do that. And then you see the reaction on your customers' faces. You know, like, it's nice. It's really nice.
You say somebody actually took the time to write this rather than text me, email me, or something like that. This is something I can have. So I understand that. Now, Kathy, I'm going to get a little bit nosy now. I just want to inquire. Retirement plans, what are they? Do you have any? Can you share?
Well, I have so many things I want to do, you know. I wish I could travel, you know. I have customers that travel, and, you know, working in the wintertime is rough. So I'm hoping I can kind of go down south and enjoy the winters down there a little like my customers have. And I've always liked to have an RV or something and travel. That kind of interests me. And I'm hoping to kind of do that. I like to do gardening and planting and doing flowers and making things look beautiful and put my little special touch on that too. So, yeah. So,
now's a good time for that too.
Oh, yes. It was the perfect time to retire.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I would say any time is a good time to retire for sure, especially after you put in your work and the community knows you. They appreciate you for everything you've done. It's well-deserved. And with that being said, how do you hope the community remembers you and your time as a mail carrier in the community?
Oh, I'm sure they'll remember me. I told them it's not goodbye because I'll still be around in the neighborhood. So
there you go.
They'll know. I told them if I see you out there, I'm going to definitely stop and say hello and how's things going, you know, because I miss them. I will certainly miss them.
Well said. Well said. Do you have any advice or any words to the community or any advice to any person that will be preceding you?
Yeah, I wish them luck. Whoever comes in, you know, granted, I have a couple ideas who might be filling my shoes, and I know, you know, somebody particular, I hope, you know, gets it. They'd be a very good fit, you know, after me being out there. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'll still stay in touch with the post office. I'm going to follow up on them.
Yeah. I'm sure they're going to need you. They're going to miss you, Kathy. And yes, there's big shoes to fill for whoever comes behind you. But we want to thank you again so much, not only for your time here on Civic Center TV's The Splash Live, but also in Sylvan Lake. Once again, newly retired Sylvan Lake mail carrier, Kathy Tomlin. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And we want to congratulate Kathy Tomlin on her well-deserved retirement and thank her for her service to our community. This week, Marshbank Park will be full of free family fun with the return of Kids Commotion concerts. We actually spoke with West Bloomfield Park's recreation programmer, Crystal Smith, who told us more about what we can expect from this year's festivities. Recreation programmer from WB Parks, Crystal Smith. How you doing, Crystal?
I'm doing very good. I'm excited for the warm weather we're getting and happy to be here.
I know, what a time to be outside. So Kids Commotion, let's start off with it general. Give out the information of who, what, where, when, and why of Kids Commotion.
Absolutely. Our dates are going to be Thursday, May 15th from 5 to 7, Thursday, June 12th from 10 to 12, and Thursday, August 21st from 10 to 12. For the May concert, you can expect some live music from Leonardo Entertainment from 5 to 6, and some special fairy tale characters from 6 to 7. And same with the timeline for June and August, live entertainment from 10 to 11, and fairy tale character visits from 11 to 12.
Sounds very exciting. Sounds very entertaining as well, and a lot to look forward to. So, with that being said, how does this year's lineup of entertainers and performers compare to last year or previous years?
Well, last year and previous years, we had several great bands come and entertain the children. This year, we're expecting Leonardo music, Rick and Dana's Playground, and the Steve and Trish Duo. They're all very talented children's performers who I know will engage the crowd during their 1-hour musical performance and get everybody dancing and grooving and enjoying that summer music and festivities with their families. So they're going to be a really great bunch to have come out this summer and perform for us.
Nice that you adding that uniqueness of the performance and the entertainment that we're all expecting to have some fun and enjoy as well. Now, I'm gonna say this. From what I'm getting about Kids Commotion, I haven't been there yet, but I'm seeing it as just like basically a concert for kids. Can you explain what makes Kids Commotion a standout event for West Bloomfield?
Absolutely. So not only do we have the 1-hour concert with live music, but we'll also finish the last hour with visits from some superheroes and some really favorite Disney characters coming to the park to take photos and interact with the children. We also have a variety of free inflatables that kids can jump in and go down the inflatable slides. The socks are required, and they will be available for purchase for $1 inside our lodge building with the Optimist Club. We're also really excited to be partnering with the West Bloomfield Township Public Library for this concert. Well, for all 3 concerts, actually. And families can expect a cool take-home craft or activity to engage in during the concert. So for those little ones that don't have the attention span to watch the concert the whole time. They can go jump their sillies out on the inflatables and engage with the library craft, get some ice cream from the Optimist Club, and play at the playground as well. So we have a lot of activity to do for them, and later on in the June and August months, we'll look forward to some nature activities as well from our naturalists here.
Okay, get them outside, out the house, away from those video games. No, I love that though, and I love that, like you said, you are also partnering with local organizations as well. We love to highlight that right here on Civic Center TV. And with me right here live on the Splash, by the way, from WB Parks recreation programmer Crystal Smith, talking about the upcoming Kids Commotion concert, where a place where a kid can be a kid and just go wild.
Right.
So how has the community responded to the concert series in the previous years?
In the previous years, we've always had such positive feedback from families. The kids really love it.
Okay.
It's something to get out and do, you know, when school's out and summer's kicking off. It's a really great event to just enjoy some music, get your wiggles out, have a quick hot dog or hamburger with the Optimist Club, and just really be a part of the community. A lot of positive feedback from these events because they are free to the community, which is lovely. So it's an easy thing to do. It's 2 hours. You don't have to purchase from the Optimist Club. You can always bring snacks if you wish, but they are there with that tasty ice cream and cool waters to cool you off. So we encourage you to participate with us this summer and enjoy them. Really fun musicians. They come in all colors and band instruments, and we're looking forward to some fun music this summer.
Oh yeah, that'll keep their attention right there. And you said one of my favorite F words, free. That will definitely get me and anybody else out the house, if you ask me. So don't want to hold you up too much longer. Couple questions. One, what do you want families and children to take away from participating in this event?
I just want them to take home some fun memories, some fun photos with our superheroes and Disney characters.
There you go.
Enjoy bouncing in those inflatables and going down the slides at the park. We'll have our mascot Polly buzzing around to engage with the families as well. And he's really a great conversation starter for how to keep our parks pollinated and fresh with flowers and all the wonderful things that our nature team works so hard on in our parks. And then just partnering with our West Bloomfield Township Library and the Optimist Club. They're two great partners that have assisted with this event for a number of years now. And so we're just happy to keep them on board, and there's always more information to gain from those two groups as well. So I think the families can take a lot from this free event, from the joyful aspect to the educational aspect.
There we go. I would agree. And just real quick, if anyone wants to volunteer or maybe even sponsor the event, this event or future events, are there any opportunities for that, and how can they do so?
Absolutely. If anyone is interested in volunteering for any special one-day events or continuous events with even our Connect Senior Center, all of those can be found on the wbparks.org webpage under the About and the Volunteer tab. And there are sign-up links that'll give you more detailed information for each of those events listed. And then if anyone is interested in sponsorships, they can communicate with our marketing and coordinating manager, Megan Tahako, will be happy to assist any interested sponsors.
Perfecto. Lastly, for anyone who just joined us, the who, what, where, when, and why of Kids Commotion this summer, please.
Absolutely. So our first concert kicks off May 15th from 5 to 7 p.m. We'll have live music from 5 to 6 and fairy tale character visits from 6 to 7. The inflatables will be open and ready for use throughout the whole 2-hour event. Next up is June 12th from 10 to 12, and then our final Kids Commotion will end on Thursday, August 21st from 10 to 12.
There it is. A lot of excitement and a place for you to take your kids as well. Thank you so much again. We appreciate your time. From WB Parks recreation programmer, Crystal Smith. Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
We will continue to cover other events from West Bloomfield Parks that will get you and your family outside to enjoy the summer. You can visit them on Facebook at WB Parks or on their website at wbparks.org. Good Choices Dog Training and Services is hosting an adventure group program that'll run from May and June of this year. Elaine Chan Whitlow, owner of Good Choices Dog Training, joined us on the Splash Live to tell us about the importance of dog training right here in Greater West Bloomfield.
Owner of Good Choices Dog Training, Elaine Chan Whitlow. Elaine, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi. Yeah.
Really happy to have you with us and really excited to be talking about this because I know everybody's looking to get outside again, looking to hit the dog parks with their best friends. How does utilizing these local environments enhance the training experience for dogs and their owners?
I think a lot of times people train their dog in a facility or in a controlled environment. And what happens is that sometimes the dogs are able to excel doing behaviors or command in a controlled environment. But when they go to a real life scenario, for example, outside in a nature trail in a park, the dog begin to struggle because dogs do not generalize behavior the same way as people do. So because of those struggles, I came up with the idea that, hey, why not actually train and also have some session to help dog owner practice what they learn in the classes in an environment that is actually real life, whereas places that the dog might actually struggle a little bit more. But the idea is that we're going to have people, myself, trainer, and other assistants there to help these dogs to become more successful, adapting to the environment and also learning the command and helping them practice the command so that they can strengthen the skill that they learn.
That's fantastic, and that's such a great thing that you're doing, and I'm really happy that you just touched on something like that, because over the years of serving the Greater West Bloomfield community, what are some of the most common training challenges you've observed among local dog owners, and how has your adventure group adapted to address these evolving needs?
Sometimes I think one of the things that I notice is that the dog, people might think they've been socialized well, but then the dog actually are not. So number one thing, I feel that sometimes the dog might be reacting to just normal random things like other dogs being around or having bicycle or people just walking by in the park. So that's one of the main things that the adventure group focus on, is that we also help the dog socialize around other dogs and people, number one. The other skill that I do see that they're struggling the most is usually leash walking, walking, just having the leash manner in general when, dog and owner walking in public situation. Because like I said, in a controlled environment, the dogs are fine. But when there's also like squirrels and birds and other kids and other people walking in strollers and stuff, the dog is pulling or not listening or having a hard time just focusing in general, which is a big deal, because if the dog is not focusing on the handler, that can become a big issue as far as listening. And I think the other thing is that the owners are also learning etiquette, owner etiquette, like when they're in public, if people wanted to come and pet their dog or kids want to come and say hi to the dog, how should we address something like that while they're training and helping their dog become more successful?
Absolutely. Lots of great things to gain from being a part of something like this. And you just said that the dog owners can learn this sense of etiquette when it comes to managing their pets. How do you see the adventure group fostering a sense of community among dog owners in West Bloomfield? And what benefits do participants gain from connecting with other local dog lovers?
One of the things that I noticed that sometimes people that come to my group, some of them already know each other, which is kind of interesting because I think it's a small community. And I like to do it because sometimes I get to connect with students or dogs that I've trained in the past. And when I have these like drop-in group, it's one of the opportunity for me to see them again. But sometimes I also like promoting other local businesses. For example, I partner with the Premier Pet Supply store. Sometimes they give me like, some samples or coupons to pass out in my group, which are also helping other local businesses. And I also like when we come together, sometimes I can refer the people that are looking for like pet sitter or maybe like dog walker among our group, which is also really nice too. So I can pass on some of the names and people that are in the community to kind of like keep everything local, like if somebody asking for a dog walker, we have somebody in our group that actually does that. And a bunch of the people that do come, they're also members of the West Bloomfield Dog Park. So they are already kind of friends. So it's kind of nice to see that they can all come together and enjoy the adventure group together.
Oh, that is amazing. I love hearing that. Everybody helping each other out with their pet needs and making sure that all of the dogs are happy and healthy. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, we're talking with Elaine Chan Whitlow, the owner of Good Choices Dog Training, talking about the Adventure Group program that's going to be taking place throughout May and June of 2025 at various parks located in Greater West Bloomfield. And Elaine, what is the philosophy behind offering free sessions like the one that's going to be taking place at the West Bloomfield Woods Nature Preserve? How do you hope these introductory sessions benefit the local dog owning community?
I just want to increase more people being aware of what I'm offering and just kind of coming out to check it out, because sometimes they don't really know how I do things or how I train and how the group is run. Once they get to kind of sample it a little bit, that was almost like a free sample session, then they will be more willing to commit or join. But the good thing is that with the adventure group, it is quite flexible, so people can kind of just come to one session and then just drop in as they need it. They need to reserve, ahead of time. Let me know they're coming. And if there's also, weather happening, we do postpone it or reschedule it. So we're not gonna, host it on a rainy day. But the good thing is that they can sample it. They can kind of see how I train, how I, handle the dogs, and then really making sure that everybody having a good experience and a fun experience. I think the fun is really where I went along to highlight.
Absolutely. Plenty of fun to be had with this Adventure Group series. Now, Elaine, you touched on this just a little bit ago, but I'd imagine putting something together like this, I mean, you can absolutely do it alone, but you've gotten a lot of help from local businesses and local organizations throughout Greater West Bloomfield. Are there any collaborations within Greater West Bloomfield to promote responsible dog ownership and your training services that you've established?
At this point, it's just mostly myself. I do think about returning back to maybe working with the recreation center a little bit more. But I said, having the local pet store and some of the local pet training businesses, or even dog walk or pet sitting businesses helping would be nice. I think it's just, more people out there promoting the, safe ownership, safe, owner handling the dog would be actually a good idea.
Absolutely right. Elaine, just a couple more quick questions before we let you go. Looking ahead to the summer months in Greater West Bloomfield, what are some crucial safety and well-being tips you'd like to share with local pet owners to ensure their dogs stay happy and healthy during this warmer weather?
One thing that's most important is making sure that they stay hydrated. So it's always really important to pack water. Sometimes I even tell people to put water in a thermos container water bottle so that it's colder for them to be able to drink. Really watch out to learn about how the dog may be suffering or experiencing heat stroke, learning the signs. And usually if weather is over 75 or even 80, depending on your dog's breed and their age and size and physical physique, you may not want to walk them or choose a time that is cooler if you really have to exercise them, maybe at evening time or early morning, and avoiding the time that are direct sunlight. Check the pavement, making sure the pavement is not too hot. Sometimes I also recommend putting paw balms on their paw if they're walking on, more warmer pavement. Those are really important. Sometimes, also take a break. If you see the dog is panting a lot, take a break, rest, pull them aside, shade, give them water, making sure. Sometimes I even give my adventure group, I even brought cooling towel for everybody if it was a little bit warmer. And if you go into places that are more wooded or, had trees and things, or not just regular walking trail, make sure they have bug repellents, the dog is on flea and tick preventative, because ticks are one of the issues that we are still dealing with. So be aware of that. You want to get the dog, have bug spray ahead of time, or wear a t-shirt, and then making sure that when you go home, take the shirts off, the owner immediately change in their clothes, throw the clothes in the washer, things like that. Check their feet, run your hand around their whole body, making sure there's no little tags or little buggy, jumping onto them. Because as long as you can check the body before the ticks latch onto the dog, the chances of the tick feeding on the pet are less. So the tick may get on the body, but it doesn't start feeding onto the dog, which is where you kind of worry, because that's how the disease, can be transmitted. So just make sure that you run your hands through all their, skin and coat between their toe, the paw pad, under the paw, ears, the groin area, things like that. And just make sure that we take prevention to make sure they don't get overheated, they don't get heat stroke, and they don't get parasites and bugs.
Wow, you have thought of everything. Lots of very important details for everyone to keep in mind in keeping their dogs safe for this summer season. Elaine, real quickly, last question. Are there any new programs or initiatives you envision offering to local dog owners in the future?
Right now, one of the other really popular service that I offer is also day camp training, which is me taking the dog for the day and having them, socialize, exercise them for the day, and train them for obedience. So I have, several, many clients in the West Bloomfield area are enjoying that. So that's one of the things that I really enjoy doing in the summer as well, being able to provide that. And some of the adventure group, we also travel to like other places, like, such as like eating at a restaurant and things like that. So that would also be good to, to like also almost like you're saying, like helping other local businesses enjoying the time. So those are, but adventure group is one of my most exciting program that I brought back. I think this is my 7th year doing it, so that's kind of fun. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see what's to come throughout the rest of the summer months as everybody gets outside and enjoys the weather with their pets. Elaine, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Thank you for having me.
And you can follow along with Good Choices Dog Training and all of their upcoming events in our local community. They're on Facebook at Good Choices Dog. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am your host, Kevin McIntosh. Per usual, you can find more all on our website, civiccentertv.com. We are live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.